Welcome back, and thank you so much for stopping by. Just came from outside. You can see I'm sweating. Good morning to my subscribers in the Philippines. Good evening to my subscribers in America and beyond. I wanted to just take a couple of minutes to talk to you about something that flashed across my mind last night, and I said I would share it with you guys. And I'll do my regular vlog later, and then I'm trying to set up, I've got something special for you guys. I'm trying to set up an interview with a real Filipino and let you hear it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak, on life over here, love over here, romance, whatever it is that you want to know, instead of hearing it from me. When you hear it from a native, it carries more weight. But I want to talk a little bit about the real cost of living in the Philippines and abroad. I'm not talking about my rent, my utilities, or anything like that. I want to talk about a real price that we as expats, we pay when we move out of our native countries and move to a place like the Philippines or Mexico or Guatemala or Portugal or somewhere like that. Because there's a price that we pay. When you think of expats, I know what you see, especially on YouTube. You see these guys, middle-aged guys like me, with kickback in these exotic places, somewhere near a beach. You got palm trees, 365 days of sunshine and all of that. And I know what you're thinking, man, that's the life. And most of the times it is. But sometimes you can encounter loneliness. You can encounter isolation. Because with most expats, we have a zest for life. We travel the world, hope to find a better life, at least a happier life. But if we don't come armed with facts about living abroad, we experience some negative consequences. That loneliness and isolation I'm just telling you about. That is a high price to pay right there. That loneliness. And it stems from, number one, that language barrier that I'm always telling you about. Try to learn the language of the native country that you're going to. It makes a big difference. The funny thing with me is, I'm trying, earnestly trying, man. I know so many phrases and words now. I try to learn at least one word or phrase every day. But it gets frustrating sometimes because when I speak Visayan to them, which is what they speak here in St. Carlos City, they speak English back to me. But I keep going, because my girlfriend told me, she said, the best way to really learn the language is just speak it every day. And that's what I do. But the other thing that's really causes a lot of problems over here is we leave our support groups behind. We leave our family, our friends, our contacts behind in our native countries. And see, that's why it's so important to create and establish new support groups here, either with locals or other expats, either in person or online. That's very, very important. I've got two guys that I stay in constant contact with. One guy every day. We chat on Facebook, and he'll comment on my videos. But this is every day, and he doesn't know what he's done for me. He's added that positive vibe to my life because I'm talking to somebody who really speaks my language, who really understands, because he lives here in the Philippines too, and he doesn't misinterpret what I'm saying. See, a lot of people over here, they speak English, but it's a crude English, really. It's just a basic English. There's so many words in our language that sound the same, but they mean totally different, and we're misinterpreted over here. But that's very, very important. And a lot of expats, what they'll do is, they belong to these expat groups, and they meet once a week, a couple of times a month, just to shoot the breeze and everything like that. And I know that helps, because every day I'm not at the beach, especially during this pandemic. Man, it's like I'm not even in the Philippines, because one of the best things I love about Philippines is travel. Man, I'm all over this place because it's so cheap. And there's so many places to go, so much to see. But another thing that I want to touch on before I leave is this. We give up all our rights, protections, and privileges as full citizens in our native countries to come here and live on the fringes of Philippine society or wherever you live abroad. I mean, that's a high price, especially with me, the First Amendment, that free speech that we give up. Because see, over here, just from expressing your opinion, man, you can be thrown out of the country here. You can be fined, you can be jailed just for expressing yourself. And see, self-expression is one of the great riches of life. And we give that up by moving to these places. And it's a very, very high cost to pay. Would I do it all over again? Absolutely. Because 100% unequivocally, if I'm still in the United States, I'm probably dead. So many of my friends have died, man, in the last couple of years. I mean, it's unbelievable. I was looking on Facebook the other day, a friend of mine that lived around the corner from me, just bought a nice house and everything. He was 64 years old. Just died suddenly, man. I was shocked. I saw him every single day. He'd be walking every now and then. He'd let me give him a ride to wherever he was going. But I was overweight. I was depressed, man. I wasn't taking good care of myself. My wife was cooking 3 meals a day, fried foods. We were eating out all the time. I mean, just the stress and strain of that life over there. Had I stayed there, I'd be dead. But I just always like to be transparent and open and honest with you guys and let you know that every day over here is not a parade. But it's still better than what I left. I don't want you to come over here and get isolated and alone and be like, well, Calvin never warned me about that. I have my days, but most of the time, it is what you see on YouTube. I am kicked back pre-pandemic. I mean, what I'm trying to do now is just survive this pandemic fatigue. Just to survive being, because we have limited movement over here. It's not like in the States. I mean, we're got to stay in place order here. You can only go out for essential needs here. See, I'm doing my best just to survive that. Because other than that, I very seldom felt alone and isolated. Because I was always somewhere exploring. But now with this pandemic here, I have to talk to you about that. Loneliness, isolation, the high cost of living in the Philippines and abroad. But if you ask me, it's well worth the price, guys, because I'm still living. I'm still 6 feet above ground. All right, so I just wanted to throw that out there to you. I didn't want to bore you, come off as a preacher or something like that, but there's a real cost of living in the Philippines and abroad. Do your research, especially on the language. Create and establish some support groups in your new country. All right, I work out, man. That's the first thing I do in the morning. It unleashes them endorphins in my brain, because if I don't work out, man, I'm telling you, I'm depressed. I'm sitting around, but it feels like I'm high after I get done. Get you a routine. Start reading, walking. If you're in a wheelchair, man, work out with your arms, man. Do something to make yourself sweat. Exert that energy to make you sweat, man. It makes all the difference in the world. But be prepared to pay the real cost of living over in the Philippines. Thank you so much. I'm going to come back with my regular vlog later, but that just flashed across my mind. I wanted to throw that out there to you. I hope it didn't bore you. But that's real life as an expat, man, Yeah, we have a zest for life. Yeah, we love to travel. But sometimes, and loneliness and isolation kicks in. You got to find out something to do. Okay? Take care. Thanks so much. Stay COVID free. Stay safe. And I'll see you next time. If you're in America, it's getting late. Don't let your head hit that pillow before you help somebody. If you're on those late grocery runs, you see somebody out in the street, buy them something to eat. Buy them something to drink. Give them a couple of dollars. If you're in the Philippines, it's about 7:45 a.m. in the morning. We still have the whole day to find somebody to help. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. Thank you so much. Stay COVID free, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.